on, guys? It's your boy Evan, and you know Moves up to because today we're actually going to be changing out quite a bit of stuff on the Jeep. It needs a little bit of maintenance. We're going to be changing out the thermostat to 180 because I noticed that the truck sits around 230, 235, which in my opinion is kind of high in terms of temperature. We're going to be changing out the water pump. Even though it's not leaking, I'm going to change it because I'm going to be flushing the system, putting some fresh new coolant in it. And then we're going to change out the hoses, and then we're going to tune the truck, tune the fans so that they come on at a much lower temperature. So for example, I like high speed at 195, medium speed at 190, and then maybe low at 185. So we'll see. So I know it's late in the night. We're not going to finish everything tonight, but we're going to definitely finish it in the next day. But I'm just going to show you me removing some of the stuff so we could get it ready so we can do the maintenance work that we need to. So let's get to it. Okay guys, so I already removed, there's a 10mm bolt right underneath this hose over here, and then there's another one on this side by the radiator fill cap. So there's one right there, and there's two on the bottom, one on that side, one on that side. So we'll use a long ratchet, 10mm socket, and you can get it right off. I might need to go underneath, but let me see. Yeah. Alright guys, so we pretty much drained the fluid from the radiator using the little valve on the bottom. We opened it, let the fluid drain. We popped the bottom side of the hose to the bottom side of the radiator. Now we're going to take this one off. So this way I can pull the fan shroud out and the fan, so we can have a little more access to the front of the engine. hopefully now that I removed the fan, hopefully you guys are able to see, and also I'm able to see basically what it is I'm working with. We're gonna remove the belt so we don't get any more fluid on it. It's a brand new belt. And we're gonna remove the water pump. We're gonna put a new one in, even though it's not leaking. Just gonna put a new one in, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, so we're going to remove now the belt tensioner bolt, and we're going to remove the water pump. Even though it's not leaking, I'm going to change it just because I'm putting a new thermostat. I'm going to put new coolant. I'm also going to flush out the heater core, so this way the truck is running at tip-top shape in terms of operating temperature and stuff like that. So just doing a little bit of maintenance. I know the water pump isn't necessary, but I'm just gonna do it anyways. Doesn't hurt. Alright guys, so we got the water pump out. As you can tell, it's filthy. You know what I mean? So it's a good idea that we're changing it out. It's not leaking, but I'm just gonna put a new one in just for the heck of it, since I'm cleaning out the system with some fresh coolant. This will eliminate some of this gunk over here. So that's the whole point of it. So we can put in some fresh coolant. Obviously, with any car that I get, if I have no idea if the owner previously maintained it, even if you did or not, I always like to do it. Doesn't hurt, especially when you're changing the oil, transmission fluid, rear end fluid, antifreeze. That stuff doesn't hurt the motor, just adds a peace of mind, and you know that the truck or car is gonna run at top shape. So I'm gonna get to it. Alright guys, so ended up removing the water pump. As you guys can tell, everything's off. I'm gonna clean the surface. I'm gonna, hose it down a little bit just to remove some of this antifreeze that might be sitting on the surface of the motor. Always clean down whatever it is you're working on, especially this, so you have a good contact from the rubber gasket. But other than that, let me show you something real quick. Alright guys, so we're back in the garage, and I want to make sure that you guys are aware of the layout of the bolts. Now this is the old water pump, and this is the new water pump. Now the water pump on these SRT8s have different size bolts. So whenever you're removing a water pump just like this one, always put the bolts in the correct location so you know where they go when you go and reinstall the new water pump back in the SRT8. As you can tell, this one here is short, right? This one here is extremely long. So if you mix them up, you can potentially have a leak, and God knows what could happen. So just take a note of that. I am going to clean the bolts and the threads on them, make sure everything's nice and clean. That is the old one. It wasn't leaking, but because I was going to change the coolant anyways, flush out the system, I figured why not put a brand new water pump in and a new thermostat. I think the rubber gasket is in the box, so everything's there. So tomorrow, it is late in that night, I'm going to continue on. So I'll definitely catch you guys early in the morning. What's going on, guys? So it's the next day. It's a beautiful day. The sun is out. It's nice and warm. So today we're going to actually be cleaning the bolts, cleaning the threads with the wheel on the wire machine. And then from there we're going to put the new thermostat in, the new water pump in with the rubber gasket, and then we're going to eventually start it up. But I can't start it up because I had to send my HP tuners MPVI, the first edition, the first interface that they had come out with, to get upgraded to the second one, which is wireless. So we're going to have to wait on that. So unfortunately, if I do finish today, we won't be able to start it because I want to adjust the fan settings prior to starting it up. This way everything is where it has to be. So in other words, I don't want to start the truck up and not have the fans at the required settings because I won't know if everything is working correctly. So I want to do everything right. So I don't want to skip steps. So we're going to do that. So we're going to just go ahead, get everything ready. We're going to actually flush out the heater core. I got the hose adapter that goes onto the hose. We're going to clean it out, put everything back on, and then go from there. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so quick little update. So basically the reservoir or the overflow tank was removed. I cleaned it as you guys saw. Then off camera I went ahead and removed these two hoses in the back. Those are the heater core hoses. So I attached the hose, one to have water flowing through it using the garden hose attachment that I had for the heater core, and the other side I put a hose so it could drain to the bottom. Doesn't matter if it goes into a pan or not. So I flush both sides. It doesn't matter which side you do, just make sure you can flush both sides using water going through. If there's stuff in it, make sure you use a little bit more pressure. You don't have to use a whole lot, a ton of pressure, but that's what I did. Flush both sides out, so that's clear. Clear water came out, so that's pretty much done. We're gonna go ahead and put back the overflow tank. Go ahead and put back the water pump assembly, put everything back on, and then hopefully tomorrow or the next day we should be getting back our MPVI2 so we could tune the fans, start it up, lead the system, and go from there. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Evan. So it's the next day. We actually have a little bit of work to do today. We're gonna actually put in the water pump, the new hoses, the air box, and the stock air filter. The K&N air filter in the box. We're not gonna start up the truck just yet because we still are missing the MPVI2 from HP Tuners. So I sent my old one in. So they're gonna send me the upgraded version. So it should be here on Monday. But we're just gonna put everything back in, or as much as we can today. It is a little bit cold, but we're gonna get stuff done. So we're gonna leave the truck as is. Once it comes in, we'll be able to fire it up and have the nice correct fan settings inputted into the ECU from the HP Tuners, and we should be good to go. So let's get to it. going on, guys? So it's the next day. As you guys can tell, we're gonna put in the belt. We're gonna put in the radiator hoses, possibly put the fan in, but we're not gonna fill the system with coolant just yet because we need the MPVI too. So I figured I'll leave that for tomorrow or the next day. Hopefully it's nice tomorrow. And so we're gonna go do that. So we're gonna put on the belt first, then we're gonna put the radiator hoses, then the fan. Then we could fill the system up tomorrow once the MPVI 2 comes in. I could tune the fan settings, and then we could start it up and see if everything's okay, if there's any leaks and whatnot. So let's get to it. What's going on, guys? So it's the next day. I'm going to show you pretty much what I did today. I did it off camera because I was having a difficult time trying to finagle the Dayco 7226 upper radiator hose for the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Now this hose is not made for this Hemi. It's actually made for the 5.7, so it fits perfectly. But I decided to give it a try. I was going to order the silicone hoses, but I was so anxious that I wanted to get the job done quick. And I went and ordered the hoses, the Dayco hoses for the top part of the radiator and the bottom part of the radiator. I was going to order the silicone hoses. They're a lot better. I'll probably do that later down the road. When these go bad, I'll probably put those on. But I just wanted to make sure that the car has brand new hoses. So I'm going to show you guys what I did real quick. So I'm going to bring the camera in, so I'm going to show you. Alright guys, so as you guys can see, we got the hose here. So put a hose clamp nice and tight. Put the sleeving or the radiator sleeve that comes with it. It's like a protective sleeve that you use for basically wires like this, or it's almost like a wire loom. So, but made for the radiators. The radiator hoses. So I'm going to show you from here, get a better idea. So we got this whole thing sleeved up, so it's nice and protected. It doesn't directly touch the fan shroud. I didn't want to cut the I didn't want to cut the fan shroud because I didn't want it to look like it was hacked up. I'd like to keep things as original as possible. So we got a hose clamp here, so it's pretty much done. We got the water pump in, the hose is in, the belt is in, everything's plugged in. So we're just gonna put the rest of the stuff that's remaining, fill up the system with some coolant, and fire it up. What's going on, guys? So as you guys saw, we just ended up putting in the 180-degree thermostat. We drained the fluid, we put in new antifreeze, back into the system. We bled the system, we started it up, made sure there was no leaks. We changed also the water pump, just because since I was going to drain the antifreeze, I said why not change the water pump and put a brand new thermostat, the 180 thermostat, so everything is running up to date or up to par. So everything is running well. I started it up. There's no leaks. I also did tune the fans to come on around at 195, 196 on the Jeep. I did it off camera, but I tuned them. When I started up, everything was running well. So no check engine lights, no leaks, no nothing. It just brought me a peace of mind knowing that the antifreeze is now brand new or has been changed, and we know that there's no dirty antifreeze that hasn't been changed. I like to do that anyway, so pretty much we all wrapped up for now. We still got a little bit of more maintenance to do, but with that being said, guys, I'll definitely be catching you guys in the next video.